Welcome to Game of Roses. This is Pacecase.
This is Bachelor Clues, but a different Bachelor Clues than you've ever known before. Because this Bachelor Clues has finally watched one episode of Love Island.
What time speed?
1.5x. But I asked...
1.5, that's respectable.
Yes, I asked permission. You can watch along with me right now at patreon.com/gameofroses. And I asked for the comments. I said, is 1.5 times speed too fast? Can we go faster? And I'm calculating that information now. But I think at the minimum, we're going to be watching.
The numbers are still calculating. Okay, great.
We're going to be watching.
Sound off in the Patreon comments if it's too fast.
Yeah, a lot of people have. And I thank you for your replies and your responses. It was very interesting. There were certain things that leapt off the screen at me. Like Leah Kateb's whole deal. As soon as she hits the screen, you're like, wait a minute, what is this?
No, she's the star.
She has something that just draws you in instantaneously. You cannot take your eyes off every play she makes. That was fascinating to me. Arianna Madix,
agreed.
Her hosting abilities are on a level that I think no other dating show host is doing, because she has the ability to be a contemporary of the players. Like, you can't...
The empathy.
Not only empathy, she's also like, oh, let's bring on the hot guys. Like, can you imagine Jesse Palmer to the guys or to a bachelor going like, let's bring out the hot women? That was back in 2002, maybe, not now. I just really liked a lot of how it was packaged as well. The graphics, the production design, the colors in the set that they're living in.
It's so colorful. It's beautiful.
It's just very like
I
friendly.
love it. It's like Lisa Frank. Yeah.
I likened it to a visual version of hyperpop, which is one of my favorite musical genres. I was blown away by a lot of it, and I thank all of the people in the pit who were...
I'm so glad you watched it.
Telling me to watch this. I'm finally on board. I am going to do the rest of the season. Well, you primarily, Pacecase.
Mostly every day for a while.
You were sitting in another cave of the pit.
I'm so appreciative.
And you were trying to beckon me into the cave in the pit, and I just wouldn't do it.
I know.
I was being stubborn.
I know. Look, I knew what I was doing to you, but I also am glad I did it.
Yeah, it's clearly like an
I know that pit is
show.
really big. It's a really big one.
It's clearly a very important show. So I'm excited to continue it, and I hope that anyone out there would like to join me on my little journey.
I saw some clips of Leah on Call Her Daddy, some quick pops, and I was like, oh, she's... There's not that many people who can be as charismatic and dynamic against Alex Cooper, and she's like kind of blowing her out of the water. It's like miraculous.
It really is. I mean, I don't know. I've only seen one episode of her so far, but it's like you just can't wait to see what she says next, because she says these crazy things. I love that
was the first episode.
Was
that the one where she says the whole... Was that the one where she does the... Erica put these up as her affirmations on her fridge, where she's just like, I'm sick. Whatever you think about me, times it by 1,000.
She didn't say that.
Did she say that line in the pilot?
She said some line about the pets she had. It was like, I've got
that was a spoiler.
3 dogs, 2 regular cats, 2 hairless cats, and a potbelly pig, or something like that. You know, just this. It was like a poem. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like normal animals, slightly weirder animals, very weird animal, like all in
they
this.
Get weirder and weirder.
This tree, yeah. And then like there's a guy with a snake tattoo who also handles snakes.
Rob, he was in Casa Amor.
Yeah.
On
I did a little bit of
season.
research, about some of their backgrounds. The dude who was on
He's
UK
the one who I wanted to dress as for Halloween after.
Yeah, he's wild. There's a lot of
this
just
one
like,
outfit he wears. Yeah.
It's super strong reality casting, and I would say that it is the thing I really took away from it was this, in a way that Love is Blind, or not Love is Blind, Perfect Match and Too Hot to Handle have to fake the 4 TRR of it. It's like we all know that the Netflix group dating shows are about clout, period. We know that. Everyone knows that. It is a joke that they pretend otherwise. When you see Harry Jowsey come into Perfect Match season 2 and he's like, I'm really here to find my soulmate now. I know I was a fuckboy before, but
I'm dating to
reformed.
marry.
Everybody's rolling their eyes, including the players. Like it comes through in the Netflix shows that the players don't think this is real either, that they're just there to play. This is different. This has just enough 4TRR through it that you kind of buy into it a little bit.
You are not even getting started on the 4TRR-ness.
Yeah.
But it's got a little
bit
I'm so
of
excited for you. I know you're going to watch the whole season because it's a really good one.
I really liked it.
And I've watched all the US seasons. This is the best one.
Oh, well, clearly.
Because of Leah, probably.
Yeah, it's breaking records and things. But the thing I took away the most from it, as we are now living in a Bachelor world where Bachelor in Paradise Season 10 is going to be with us. We will experience this in 2025. And we've got this whole year where people who liked Paradise didn't have a Paradise, so we all went elsewhere. I think that's a reason why Season 6 of Love Island USA is big, too. There should be a Paradise coming.
Interesting.
And there's not. So if you want Paradise, you have to go to that. You have to go to Perfect Match. And so that's happening. And these shows are like, oh, everyone in Bachelor Nation who used Paradise as their like beach all-star dating show is starting to see how other people do it, and they do it way better. So you've got to measure up. The thing on Love Island that blew me away is every player there looked excited to be there, and they were having fun. Every moment of it was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Even when they're crying and stuff, it's never because of some dumb thing the producers do. It's never out of fear for what's going to happen to them next. It's because a player has fucked them over. So the second audience game is like all that matters. The producers don't really feel very present in it yet. Maybe they will.
No, they're just text messages.
Exactly.
There's a moment in their boom boom room, which is the hideaway, where a player goes, I don't want to leave. You never hear that on VIP.
No, somebody said it in this pilot when they came into the room to do the I Love Cleveland of their beds and stuff. And you're like, Jesus, if this is Bachelor in Paradise, there's a snake in the ceiling and like crabs are living in their suitcases. Here, it's just like this beautiful, like it's out of a fucking dream.
I wish snake in the ceiling was alive, but that was a real creature, right? There was a snake in the ceiling.
Yes. Andrew Spencer had a like python in the ceiling of his home. And I believe producers put it there on purpose. This is the exact opposite. This is welcome to this place you never want to leave. This is going to be the best.
Instead of patching snakes, we're putting more snakes in.
Yeah. These players, I think, walking into a scenario like this, feel that this 3 month period, however long the show is, this is going to be the best 2 or 3 months of my life. They all feel that. And you can feel it as a viewer. BIP doesn't have that. BIP is fear. These people come to that beach afraid of what is going to happen to them. These people are walking into their beach being like,
they're like, I'm going to dissociate this period of my life.
Exactly. I think that's
BIP is going to have to, they're going to have to step it up now that Love Island USA is really taking off, because they're going to be competing with them for casting.
Yep.
And if you had Leah, think of her as being the Bachelorette. That would have been awesome.
Think about any of those players from this season. Maybe some of the ones who didn't hit Leah's mark. Somebody else just hit 1 million today. I forget who it was. So there's a bunch of them now that are crossing 1 million, and Leah's at 2 million. She could probably eclipse Hannah Brown. She's at 2.1. I just checked right before we got on here.
Oh my God. It's interesting because I don't really remember the first episode, but to hear that Leah popped from episode 1, I love.
There's just something about her. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know if I've seen anything like it in reality TV yet.
To me, she's kind of a Catherine style from Too Hot to Handle. The sex positive, free spirit.
It's the
I don't know what you would call
play
the
style. You just don't know what she is going to say next. And all her stuff is funny.
No,
she's
you don't.
Hilarious.
And you are gonna die.
I can't wait. And it looks like she's got some latent like super faceplay capabilities. She was like expressing it a little bit in the pilot, but not too much. But I was like, I think I'm in for a treat. I think we're about to see a faceplay masterclass.
I don't know if you know this yet. Guess which one of the OGs was on Traitors.
I do know. It was the British guy. I forget his name.
Oh, okay. I realized as I was saying it, like, oh, wait, there's only one British guy.
In his intro, he says it.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that.
Anyways.
Well, we're not here to talk about
No.
Love Island USA.
But I just want to say sincerely, thank you to everyone, yourself included, Pacecase, who browbeat me into watching this show. I am enjoying it.
I feel so happy. And I'm glad you liked it, because that was part of my stress about you watching it, is maybe you wouldn't like it.
There's some parts of it that I would change for sure.
I've been wrong before.
But overall, very good show.
Well, they start a lot of their seasons differently. The way that they pair people up has kind of changed. The original format is like 5 guys and 5 girls, and like the 5, whoever's there first, the girls are there, and then you have to step forward if you're attracted to someone, and then you pick your pair just on how they look in a swimsuit, and that's kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the mechanics I would have changed. How the guys stand on a heart, and then it's like, okay, ladies, sprint to whatever guy you like the best. And that guy, Coy.
Well, I'm saying that was a new mechanic.
3 women.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny. That was funny to me.
It was funny.
There's no game in that at all. It's very like simple psychological game. You really need to step that out and make an order of people who get to select, and then that person gets to reject once, or there's like a million ways to play that game of who matches up first, and this to me was a very boring way to do it.
My Love Island USA strategy is you team up early with anyone who's like not the guy who has 3 hearts on him. I would go for one of the floaters, and then you're in this relationship. You can keep meeting everyone as long as you don't close off. And then it's like you can notch up if there is, better option.
Yeah, interesting. Notching up and notching down was interesting. It's just an interesting show. I like it so far, and the casting I think is phenomenal, including Arianna Madix, who's just like a host operating at like in a different capacity. I don't want to say at a different level, because they're like what Alan Cumming is doing, I think, is art, on Traders. I like that is something that is at a level of expertise that I don't think any reality show host has come close to. That said, it's also a very specific thing.
Except DLP, but yeah.
Are you kidding me? DLP floating around on a raft eating Kentucky Fried Chicken?
I was poking the bear.
He has his charms, DLP, but he's no Alan Cumming. I'm just saying what Arianna Madix is doing, because she is like a big reality star.
I underestimated her hosting abilities.
Yeah, she's really phenomenal at it.
She did great.
At any rate.
We're not here to talk about Love Island USA, though. We are here. Well, actually, first we have one bit of business.
Oh. All right.
We're not here. Our first bit of business is that we have a shirt commemorating Jenn Tran's season on sale now. It's got the whole rookie list on the back. You can, cross them out as you want, or just leave them all there for honor. And there's right now a Gore 2024 discount code where you get 10% off. That is GOR 2024 at gameofroses.co.
All right, Pacecase, let's jump into this. Are you ready?
Yes. Now we're going to.
Yeah, this was Jenn Tran's historic episode 4, week 3 in the timeline of the filming. 2 hours long, July 29th, 2024. Now, the teaser is the return of the skeleton. So we have to assume that's going to happen this episode, and indeed it does. They pay that off. But they don't.
I wanted this so badly for so long. Well, we didn't know if it was skeleton or resurrection.
I know. I was
studying everyone's shoes the whole episode for no reason, it turned out.
Yeah. I thought maybe old Aaron
A lot of people were wearing white shoes.
Parachute out of his helicopter or something, out of a jet. But it wasn't him. We'll get to that. I have very mixed feelings about this skeleton. I'll simply say that. Let's begin portion 1. Daytime in Auckland, the North Island in New Zealand. Beautiful B-roll of the city here as we get some kind of like pump up music is playing that has like some tribal elements to it. And then the guys are on a sailboat. They do their scream, Jenn!
Marcus Titanic's himself I saw here. I thought that was a funny little move.
Nice. Then we're seeing all the guys are eating.
They go and drink at a bar.
They're cheersing to a great week. Sam M now says the best case scenario is he in an ITM, he says, best case scenario, I get to see Jenn. Worst case, I have to look at Devin all day. And he closes his eyes and he sticks out his tongue. in this homage to the serpentine lizard that he had to hold last week. And this lizard tongue was not my faceplay.
I thought it was going to be my faceplay, but there was so much.
It was not my faceplay of the game.
I didn't even realize that they foreshadowed this with the worst case scenario having to look at Devin all day. The way they set this up, chef's kiss,
it is
gorgeous.
Classic. It's
gorgeous.
classic. This is Nick Viall versus Sean Booth. This is that.
It's giving Nick Viall versus Sean Booth.
Which is
100,000%.
If the finalists are Sam M and Devin, this season will be historic. This should be in a fucking museum if they get to do that. That is.
I hope so. I don't know. I mean, you made a dark prediction about Sam M that he wouldn't be able to pull off a one-on-one date last week.
Yeah, and it was close. It was teetering.
This
dude barely hung on.
Teetering. He barely hung on. I agree. I'm worried that they're not going to be the final two, but I do hope it is.
This is where you get into producing, in my opinion. When you have this cast and you start to see this happening, which they clearly have because they're setting it up right now. You can see like in the timeline of how they produce this show. They're like, oh shit, these guys hate each other. How do we get them alone together in a room? They both get the one-on-one dates. We'll get to it. Oh my God. It was so good.
It's like we don't need them to go on a 2-on-1 date. We just have to have them be alone together at the house to get exactly what we want out of the situation. We don't want Jenn to be involved in their rivalry. She doesn't need to be a part of that.
But it's such an interesting pairing of guys. And if the producers are working their magic this season, they will be the finalists. I mean, they have to. You have to think that as producers. You know, you have to be like, we need them in the finals together. This is crazy.
I feel like it's so creative to do the 2-on-1 by omission. Yeah. It just really struck me this episode, and I thought it was really elegant.
I did
too. And because it's like you don't see it coming. You usually think they pick the one-on-ones based on who they want on the one-on-ones. They don't think about like, oh, but we could make those two just be alone together. Usually it's just like, oh, a couple of randos, you know, together.
We'll get to it. So
I have chills.
I know it is a really fantastic season so far, and this episode I thought was very good. But
it was very good.
We see this thing, they drum it up here, and Sam then ITMs audio only. You don't see him say any of this, that he has no respect for Devin. He wouldn't be friends with him in the real world. He's going to keep the main thing. So he's even got his catchphrase going. All of this was very poorly cobbled together from about 4 or 5 different ITMs. They are so bad at Frankenbiting this season. You got to get better at that. Look, I don't know how many times I got to say it. There are tools that can be used right now that will just smooth that shit out for you, and it'll all sound the same. Just let's look into it. That's all I'll say. Because it is like, to me,
look into it.
It's like a train wreck. You're like going along and you're like, oh shit, they're going to fight. And then it's like, I don't have any respect for you, Devin. And there's like a waterfall in part of the syllables and birds screeching in another part. You're just like, dude, we can hear that that's from different pieces of audio, dude.
Clearly. I mean, I know I'm like noticing it more now that we do this, but this one I feel like was atrocious.
I agree.
We see a waitress delivers food to DLP and Jenn at a restaurant, and he gives a bit of legacy information here. He talks about why you don't eat on a one-on-one date, and she's like, why is eating not attractive? He goes, on my season, I scarfed food down. And we see all these flashbacks of DLP scarfing food on his season. This probably was the blooper reel for that season, I imagine, but like iconic that they put this little bit of trivia in.
I'll go back and look and see if it was the blooper reel. The only thing I remember of the blooper reel,
the blooper reel has got to include, him
eating. You think it does?
No, I think the blooper reel had to have him saying the wrong name in it.
Oh, that it had.
But I think it might have had the food thing.
Smeagol impersonation. If you've never seen Jesse Palmer's Smeagol impersonation.
My precious. It's my own. What she should have. No, she should have. Aim to you. It's yours. No. You love her. She's nice. She loves Master. She will take it.
He had done that in this scene. Potato skins, tomato skirt steak. DLP says he ruined eating for everybody. Love this.
But
They kind of generally talk about.
did he though? If I may, I remember a very famous bachelor eating on his one-on-one date. Nick Vial eating a beignet puts anything.
It's
DLP
only
did
used
to
as a
shame.
fool thing, though. It's not just like throughout, like what they had in this scene. But I agree, it isn't good for filming.
Yeah,
You can't understand what people are saying. This scene was loud. They were in like
I
a
love
loud
this
bar.
moment though. I gotta say, I love when
It
they
was
do
cute.
the archival footage. Show me what it used to look like. I love that shit. I love that shit.
I do too, especially DLP. Like,
Yeah.
keep reminding everyone he was the Bachelor and a real NFL player.
Yeah, it's true.
And Jen joins the boys, and they briefly talk about this tall tower. I'm looking at all their shoes. Who's got the white shoes? Who's
Did you
the
Google
skeleton or
the
resurrection?
Sky Tower?
Did I Google the Sky Tower? No,
Yeah.
I don't even have internet. I am on a fishing trip, and I literally am using the Zoom on my phone.
Okay. Well,
The
I
hotspot.
Googled it. Here, you want some information about the Sky Tower?
Yeah, I would love some information.
It's a telecommunications and observation tower in Auckland, New Zealand, located at the corner of Victoria and Federal Streets within the city's CBD. I don't know what that is, something district. It is 328 meters or 1,076 feet tall as measured from the ground level to the top mast, making it the second tallest freestanding structure in the Southern Hemisphere, surpassed only by the Autograph Tower in Jakarta, Indonesia. And it's the 28th tallest tower in the world. Since its completion in 1997, the Sky Tower has become an iconic landmark in Auckland's skyline due to its height and design. It was the tallest freestanding structure in the Southern Hemisphere from 1996 to 2022.
Dang. Good for that tower. I would never do what they did. Absolutely not. Terrifying.
I would have done it at a younger age.
So, like, in your 50s?
What? That's still in my future. Probably I would have done it in my 20s up through my mid 30s. Once I started getting routine nagging injuries in my adult sports leagues, I was like, I'm going to hurt myself. I need to quit. And I have that feeling now about something like that. I'm like, if I jumped off that building, it's like some muscles getting pulled, some things going out of joint, something bad's going to happen.
God.
Not worth it. Wouldn't do it now.
What about skydiving?
Same thing. Would have done it young. Too
I have
old.
too many creatures that depend on me now to go skydiving.
Oh, creature
You see,
responsibilities.
Sam M's my son Luca.
Yeah.
Sam M gets the first one-on-one day. Love this. I wrote, will he blow it like Bachelor Clues' prediction? Time will
Not
tell.
only my prediction, Devin predicts it. He ITMs that Sam M has 4
I know.
lines. One of which is, I'm going to
the
be my
same
authentic self.
Logic as you.
Because he's right. He's a good player. And he's like, I don't think he can hold a real conversation with Jen. I hope he bombs the one-on-one, and I think he's going to. So we get this portion too. We see the guys come to the Grand Millennium Hotel. I Love Cleveland in their new room. It looks like Dylan and Jeremy get the bed jump. Jonathan does some impromptu hide behind a plant play. And then
Jonathan playing in the plant, I loved. This
too.
was like very creative. I love Cleveland. That's improv.
And congrats to the producers for throwing it in. You don't usually see stuff like that.
We see, I'm writing down. Devin is wearing white shoes. We go to this 101A. Cool shot of tower. We see Sam wearing an orange jacket and a ring on a string in a clear homage to Vanderpump Rules.
Oh.
Jen is in a white pantsuit, an homage that shall not be named, and they go up the tower. Amazing shot.
Yeah, beautiful.
They go to this meal. Sam M is like, I'm blessed. They talk about what was their first date. And then the shot. Spider-Man, two people drop right behind them. The shot is incredible. I loved it. It instantly reminded me of, your guy.
Nick Vial, because they had a date like this. Sean Lowe had a date, I believe, with Sarah Heron like this, where they had to jump off the side of a building. Remember that? This is a time-honored, rich tradition. Yeah. But let me just say...
Sean Lowe.
Yeah, Sean Lowe and Sarah Heron, I think, did this. They went to the top of a building and, like, rappelled down the side of it. This type of date I love. And this person who sacrificed themselves for our beloved game by jumping off of the... Sky Tower in Auckland to fall past this window for a few fleeting frames was my Jorge Moreno, Bystander of the Week.
Love that.
I don't know if we ever saw that person again. Is that one of the instructors that helps them later? I don't know. I don't know. The waiter said he had done it last Tuesday. Yeah. I feel like all of these people are professional sky jumpers. The waiter then comes over and says, I did this. You should do it. And Jenn plays an IFI. She is too scared to jump. And Sam M keeps trying to force her to jump and says, we'll love it when we're 50 to look back and say we did it. And she starts crying. And this... forced jump play by Sam M was my error of the game. There were a lot of errors in this episode. Yeah. But this one to me was just like I thought Sam M had more potential than the 4 lines that you and Devin gave him credit for. He doesn't, though. We can clearly see that.
He pulls it away from the brink here, but it was, he almost lost it.
It was definitely a big error. It wasn't my error of the game. I think there was one that was slightly more punishing to the player. But this was just, it was hard to watch, frankly. The inability to see what should be done here. It made no sense. Anytime you're in that position, and the lead is like, I don't want to do this thing we're supposed to do on the date, your only play is enthusiastically supporting their decision. That's your only play. Come on, you could do it. Absolutely not. Maybe you can do one. Look, I know it's scary, but I'm here for you, and I think we can do this together.
Yeah, one.
Maybe you get one of those. And if they persist, okay, hey, no problem. Let's go back inside. I don't, like, today's about spending time with you anyway. I don't care what we're doing, as long as it's with you. That's the only play here. What's he doing?
I don't know. But the ITM that he said, I love adrenaline. It's the closest to feeling alive.
Yeah. What?
I wrote JFC. He is dead inside. Maybe that explains his play. He's like, I gotta get down that building.
Was he also the guy that talked about what do you see life like in 50 years? And he's like, I'll be cooking you eggs. Did he bring up 50 years in the future prior to this too? Somebody else did.
Oh,
do you remember that?
I don't know.
I think we had some whole conversation about having robots cook us breakfast or something.
About 50
years in the future. It's like, where do you see yourself 50? Yeah, because remember, it was on the one-on-one. He's like, where do you see yourself 50 years in the future? And
he's obsessed with 50 years in the future. What do you think happens in 50 years?
I think he's a time traveler. I think he comes from 50 years in the future. And he's coming back to make himself a reality star. He looks back and he's like, you know what?
He says,
2024.
The world is ending if you don't jump off this building.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he pushed it. If he was saving the world, then it wouldn't be my error, but we don't have any evidence of that.
I don't think he's saving the world. I think he found a way to travel back in time for 50 years in the future, and he looked around and he said, what would be the best thing that you could do with time travel? And I think he was like, be a reality star in the years from 2024 to like probably 2035. That's going to be the golden era of reality TV. He's like, I'm going to start it, I'm going to ride the wave, and live the good life. That's what I think he said.
Well, time will tell.
We'll see.
Sam M talks about his future wife again, and he finally notches down. He says, okay, we'll go for a walk. But you know he's going to trick her, and he's joked about pushing her. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Oh. And then he's like, oh, I want her to be comfortable. I'm like, yeah, that's a good boundary to keep in mind. And this bird flies around the tower. I'm not even sure if this was a real bird, but this creature was my creature of the week.
I missed it.
You did? Oh,
I guess, though.
I'm not sure it was real. because it was just like a single creature that circled it. I don't
Well,
know, maybe it was
this
real.
possibly spectral bird is also my creature of the week. I mean, it has to be. I didn't think there was a whole creature, but I'll use it.
I mean, did you watch the promo for next week?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god, I could not be more excited.
Yeah, next week looks
for what
very
we
good
saw.
as well. So they are up there.
I do think I would have a panic attack. I'm kind of afraid of Ferris wheels.
Yeah.
This is like even worse.
Yeah, it was crazy. And they cliffhang basically on her saying that she's afraid Sam M is not reading her emotions at all. We come back right where we left off. Jen is begging to not have to do this, and Sam M is literally laughing at her. And then she ITMs that she feels isolated and alone because he doesn't understand how she feels, not wanting to be there, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, he's just continuing this. Sam comes to her finally.
And I wrote, he has white shoes. I am Agatha Christie. It's a resurrection. I was wrong.
He comes to her and he...
That wasn't right.
Like the great shoe investigation. Pacecase in the case.
I can't believe how much
of the
time I
missing
spent trying to
shoes.
find the shoes. And then they weren't even shoes we knew.
I know.
We
finally
come back
helps
on
her
the
here.
next portion.
And brings her in and says, you don't have to do this. And then she tears and he's like, oh no, it's cool. We don't have to do this again. And he ITMs that he can see the fear in her eyes, and that stopped time for him.
It stopped time for him. It's a clue.
He's a time traveler.
That's what the ring on the string is for, around his neck.
It's Jen's tears, Jen's look of fear is what controls his time machine.
That's the only way he can jump back.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing a lot of that.
They then have tricked them. There's only one good way to go down. I'm like, but how did they get here? Doesn't make any sense.
I
Whatever.
agree.
She jumps, he jumps, they kiss, have champagne. He says he's gonna make it up to her tonight. Next portion, we get this boy.
Can I ask you real
chat.
quick?
Everyone,
Do you think Jen was actually afraid to do this?
yes, she was crying.
I don't think she was afraid to do this. I think she's a very good
What?
bachelorette.
It's the second tallest tower in the southern hemisphere.
At least the way it was presented was, for many minutes, she was saying, no, I don't want to do this. Produce tears. Sam M is trying to get her to do it. He goes over and hugs her. And then a stranger simply says, hey, why don't you jump off this building? Okay. And then they do it.
I think there was a lot of time that passed in that. I would agree with that.
The way it was presented, it didn't feel like it. I'll simply say that.
Oh my God,
I
that
believe
is
she
too
was
much
acting.
conspiracy, even for me. Everyone's gonna be shocked if he doesn't come back. Spencer's the postman here. Sam is over group dates. So what's he on? Group date. Spencer, Marcus, Graham, Don M, Austin, Jonathan, Dylan, Thomas, Jeremy, Sam N. LOL. The one-on-one is Devin.
It was so good.
I get so excited. We're gonna get a Devin one-on-one. He says there's moments between Jen and I that have sparked fire, but haven't been able to catch that flame. Like, what?
Yeah.
This is like we're talking about with Leah. It's just like, how are these words coming out of your mouth? You are a reality star.
Yeah. He's great.
Sam M and Jen walk the dock for their night portion of their date. He is in a gray suit. She's in a red dress. No more minutia. See the tower in the background. They've gone across town. He's showing up for me. We hear again. Oh God. And they cheers to new memories together. Cheers to 50 years from today, where we will be in this exact spot, right, Jen?
Yeah. Oh my God. So they come to this, he level ones her here. They kind of basically talk about her PTCs. She says anytime she's opened up and let her wall down, hasn't ended well. And she's most afraid of somebody not working at it. And he's like, I'll never stop working. I don't need to have everything figured out as long as I'm with the right person. And she's like, well, what do you want? What is your right person? He wants that wild love that's passionate and intimate. He says, love, if you love the person, love is always choosing you. And it's something you never stop working at. And she says, it's been hard to chase.
He's good at
anything
mirroring
that's hard.
her.
Yeah, he's mirroring her. She's mirroring him too a little bit. But she plays her parental divorce PTC here. And her parents not being the best example of love, and she feels unworthy of true love, produces tears, and he whispers, "You're worthy. You deserve it." She ITMs.
I did not hear you.
Huh?
Oh,
He
you're
whispered.
worthy. You deserve it.
You're worthy.
My precious.
Deserve it.
She produces tears. She wants someone to love her on her worst days. She mentions how she's messed up. Sam M, no, you're not. Everyone has trauma. Everyone has a PTC. I love ferocious love. And then he plays his heartbreak PTC about his engagement that deteriorated. Found out there was another guy and that he wasn't chosen. Not going to have the kids, the family. We have both him and Devin mentioning kids in this episode. I mean, it's just like this. I feel like we deserve this rivalry.
Yeah.
It is Sean and Nick.
It really is. It really is. Only I
love it.
think I'll say this. Sam M doesn't strike me as a particularly 4TRR player. We know Sean Booth was.
Right.
There's subtle differences in this, but the animosity is very similar.
And I don't think Sam M is quite on Devin's level of play, to be honest.
Oh, for sure not.
But I'm still enjoying it.
But he has chemistry game, and we've seen chemistry players can do this sometimes. You know, they just like blind the first audience a little bit. Like,
Quicksand,
how far can that?
you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But he does get that one-on-one rose and a kiss to seal it, and then they look up at this tower behind them, all lit up. And she ITMs that she is falling for Sam, a loaded love level 3.
She gets on his lap here as they're making out after this one-on-one rose. Let's effing go. Lap play.
She's in control.
She's like, hello, fisherman.
She's in control. They told her that was what the slogan was going to be, probably. Maybe not. But I think maybe was this something that producers told her to do is what I'm trying to get at. Did they tell
You
her
think they
before
come
this
up
get
with
in
the
his lap?
slogan before the season?
What's that?
Do you think they come up with the slogan before the season?
I think
And
they
pitch it
have
to
an
the
idea
Bachelorettes?
of what it is. I don't think they go in blind. And then if something happens in the season that it needs to pivot to, fine. But I think they have an agenda for sure to like brand the Bachelorette with an identity, even in production. For sure they have that.
So she's in control and worthy of love.
Something like that.
Someone's going to show up for her.
Yeah. These are in play.
He does more whisper play. Oh, I love it. You have no idea how much I want this. They're making out. She's so happy. And the tower turns Christmas colors, which makes them even hornier. OMG. Oh, yeah, that's where she loads the love level 3.
And then we start this next portion, daytime, the group date. The guys meet Jen on what looks to be a soccer field, but we later find out it's rugby. They literally raced her. They get in a foot race, and Jonathan and Marcus pull out ahead of the pack.
I loved this.
Jonathan beats Marcus to get the first hug. This is what you do. This is what you do. This is what you do. You sprint as hard as you can straight to her. Best case scenario, you dominate the other guys in the pack, you demonstrate this higher value, and you get to her first to have that hug. Worst case scenario.
Demonstrate value. That's part of the dentist system from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, exactly. It works,
Oh,
though.
God.
That's real.
It works.
Worst case scenario, you blow both hamstrings and you get to double IFI and
Worst
sit
case
on the
scenario
sidelines
is you
all
take
day
her
with
out.
Yeah, worst case scenario is
hurt
you
her.
cause her physical injury.
Don't hurt her. You got to be able to stop your momentum.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at that when I'm running. It takes me a while to get back turning the other direction.
I see.
And I often fall.
These things happen.
Anyway, they're going to do something all New Zealanders do, rugby. And we see the ceremonial dance before a game, the haka dance by the Maori. The leader of the haka, which represents pride, strength, and unity, blows in a conch shell, and he was my Jorge Moreno, bystander of the week. He's doing what I thought was going to be my face play, sticking out his tongue. Everyone is dancing. It's energy. It's everything. We learn this is the North Harbour Stadium. And we get these rugby people who come up,
If I may.
reading lines,
If I may.
not bringing the energy like this man was.
When your Jorge Moreno Bystander of the Week was blowing on the show, there was a group of cultural dancers. There was a man in the front of them. They were kind of in a pyramid-like structure. And this man was delivering a terrifying, full mouth, full eye aperture kind of battle face play. That was my face play of the game.
These dancers were doing so much good face play. I wrote like face play of the game 10 times here. But there is one woman. Oh, wait, she's later.
Later. Yeah, I remember her. But yeah, so they meet Caleb Clark, a member of the All Blacks, the most victorious rugby team in history. We learned Caleb Clark has 105,000 Instagram followers. They meet Ofa. I'm going to butcher this last name. My apologies. Tuungafasi. 74K Instagram, tells him that rugby is like love, takes passion and toughness.
That's so true.
They have to relate it all to love. It's a game of rugby. Absurd. Marcus then ITMs that scorers are going to be
Rugby's
settled.
definitely about
the
love,
guys
please.
have this
Come on.
bad blood in the house, and they're going to take it out on each other in the rugby field. And we meet then Olympic gold medalist
It's
Stacey
giving
Waka.
Hannah Brown season once again.
Oh, this is an exact replica of the date that she had where Luke Parker folded Luke Stone in half in a linebacker-style vengeance move. We then meet Olympic gold medalist Stacey Waka, 68.3K on Instagram, who asked them if they're ready to smash each other. And then we begin the training montage of rugby.
They train. We see a cute ITM by Jen. Someone can tackle me as well. Let's go. And Marcus has played before. Spencer is doing some great, colorful narration.
He is.
Spencer, for me, is the dark horse of this
I
season.
agree with you. I think he's in the Final Four now.
I'm now thinking he's the ring winner. I'm like, what is going on? I feel like
see
he's
that.
after seeing the ex-boyfriend. That's why I thought. I was like,
Interesting.
oh,
Yeah.
this is her actual physical type. Okay, who looks most like this guy? Spencer.
Interesting.
We see a bunch of bloopers, which I was laughing at, people getting hit. Sam N then, without consent, tries to lift Jenn Tran in the air on the start of his many errors. Don't lift me. And if you do, ask me. And it better be in a hoochoo.
But he also kept seemingly lingering. You know, he's like pretending to tackle her, and he's like, I don't care about the other guy's feelings. It was very weird. Not a good move at all. Nonetheless, we then cut back to the hotel, and we see two men sitting on couches opposing one
I
another.
feel a little bad. I feel like the producers got him this episode. They got him. They were like, you need to really distinguish yourself or you're going home.
100%. This is a man desperate
Makes
to
me
stay
feel a
on a
little bad.
TV show. That's what you're watching. None of this is real. His whole performance is just like, let me do some bombastic things. I'll become the villain, basically. Keep me on the show. That's
Yeah.
what he was trying
Totally.
to do.
Yeah.
And it fell flat because he's not a believable villain. It's very hard to go from love virgin to believable villain, in my opinion. At any rate, he did what he could.
Virgins can be villains, Clues.
He did what he could. I'll give him that much. But back at the hotel, we then see the scene
Ugh,
of
back at the hotel. Ugh.
it's Devin and Sam
gorgeous.
M sitting on opposing couches. They are forced to do this by producers. This is called a guy chat. And Sam M ITMs that he wants to get to the bottom of why Devin acts like such a little bitch around him. Sam M opens the guy chat with, so what's your deal with me? Just fucking, hey,
Devin
dude,
versus
you and me
Sam
are fighting
M
now.
at home is so. I literally was like, this is better than a 2-on-1.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. What's your deal with me? I heard you making fun of me about saying authentic self. Your word doesn't come out of my mouth. Stay in your lane. Devin is making some incredible face plays here. And he's like, you're the one making it about me. And he's raising one eyebrow. Wowie. Sam M, you're not worth my breath. Devin, I don't give a fuck if you even talk to me. Sam M, time will tell. It's giving Nick versus Sean Booth.
Yes.
at the peak. I love it so much.
Me too. This is really like the press conference before a big boxing match or MMA fight where you get to see the two fighters. They're on stage together. They like get in each other's faces a little bit, but like the fight is coming. It gets you hyped up for it. And I'm like, this 2-on-1 is going to be one of the greatest pieces of media made by this franchise. I cannot wait for this 2-on-1. And if something derails it, it better not derail it. That's all I'm saying. Producers, give us this 2-on-1. You better have gotten it. You better have gotten it.
We need Sam M to time travel and make sure that this happens for us. It's already happened, Clues.
Yeah, you're right.
In this timeline.
Yeah.
DLP is the announcer with Stacy, and Jenn is so cute, just like nodding along to the weird things DLP is saying. I love it. She's an outstanding bachelorette.
I
and this
agree.
episode, she really was giving a lot.
She's only had like, to me, one moment as a bachelorette where I was like, that wasn't quite like at the same level as all of her other kind of bachelorette play. But overall, it's like,
wait, what moment?
She's a great bachelorette. Huh?
What moment?
Her lay down the law speech. I thought that could have used some more like some more oomph, you know. But other than that, she's been flawless in my opinion. And even that's a small complaint. The Bachelorette game here, the rugby game, is going to be called the Bachelorette's Rugby Royale. I love that they're branding all of these things now, and they have a graphic for it. And it's like,
me too.
I love it.
Keep it the same thing. Build these new traditions.
Like
DLP tries to explain the rules of rugby. I'm not following. Oh, and Sam N leads a guttural ultimate Viking yell. Love that.
This is for
it's like a This Is Sparta, but for Jenn. So Jenn ITMs that she loves that they're taking it seriously, but doesn't want them to get hurt. And then Sam N ITMs that he wants to show Jenn he's willing to get hurt. He gets aggressive and he starts tackling people over the field. And you can feel this is coming. Somebody's going to break something. Somebody's going to have something go
He's trying
wrong.
to break something.
And we don't see it ever happen. But it did happen. We learned later at the after party. I was like, why didn't they show that during any of this?
Maybe legal reasons.
But long story short, nobody gets injured. The blue team gets the win. And Sam N then lifts her up and carries her around. And Thomas ITMs.
And he has husband of Jenn on the back of his jersey. Yeah. Manifestation, baby. I mean, this is obviously none of his jersey play can be orchestrated without the producers.
Yep.
It hurts. It hurts for me.
Yeah, it's bad because it's like they're not exactly making him a villain. They're making him a very hardcore fool. And it is really feels like mean-spirited, honestly.
It feels mean. Yeah.
And it's not like, for me, it was not fun to watch his flame out. It was like, that is a guy who like desperately wants to be on reality TV, and they took big time advantage of him.
I'm like going through something, and like, he got. Yep. It's not that fun to watch. I agree. The blue team wins. Jenn sprays champagne on the winners, but it's not a play for time. So everybody is making it to the after party. And people are starting to complain about Sam N. He made it the Sam show, but Jenn's a smart woman.
He walks in carrying the trophy with the jersey that he wore that says Jenn's husband on the back of it, slung over his shoulder, like leading the charge in front of the guys carrying in these things. Like, I don't care. I won all this. All these other dudes, I'm not here to make friends. It was wild. Like the performance he's putting on. Like, imagine that. A producer's
flipping the
like,
scarf over and over. I love it.
A producer's like, okay, you have to carry the trophy in and you have to sling your thing over your shoulder. And like, just any guy who comes at you, tell them, get lost. I don't care about you. All right, fuck it. Give me the trophy. Give me the fucking shirt.
You're not here to make friends. This is what Jenn wants.
Just, hard to watch. But
and they give this.
I appreciate
this is the only part of the full edit that I did like.
Yeah.
When he keeps flipping the scarf and then they go in and he goes in the wrong room and someone's like, we're going this way, Sam. I laughed out loud at this cut. That was great. Like,
it was great.
Out on the scene. And he loads his first responder. We don't see that very often, occasionally, but he wants to be the first one to talk to her. So he physically forces himself into the spot on the couch and won't make room move the trophy for Marcus, and everyone is noticing it. Great. And then he grabs her hand during the cheers, pulling off that first responder move. And we start to see his one-on-one time while the guy chat is starting to shit talk him.
Oh, and this was brutal. She's like, Jenn is being forced to
Yeah.
pretend that she loves the Jen's husband t-shirt or the name on the back of the
But
shirt.
this is part of why I think she's an amazing bachelorette, is how she handles
Yeah.
this.
I mean,
It's like with like, I don't know. It's like, it's art. It's to kind of handle all of everything that is coming at you.
but all this is a little scripted. Like the her dismissing him early, that has to be like agreed upon by producers before this happens. This is very pro wrestling. So that's not like, oh, this went bad, I should walk you out now. That's producers and her. She's like, dude, come on.
She
This
probably
Love
wanted
Virgin
to-
guy, we got to get
yeah.
this guy out of here. What's going on? And
And
they're
they're
like, okay,
like, keep
you can
him
do
to
it
the
at
night
the
portion, please. We have this scarf thing we want him
Yeah.
to do. It's going to be good.
do it at the after party. It's the nicest way to let
Yeah.
him go. Then he doesn't have to go through a rose ceremony. Okay. So she's got to meander to the end of
Benevolent
this while he's
execution.
doing his little
This
performance.
is how Sean Lowe broke up with everyone. Benevolent
Yeah.
executions.
Yeah.
We then see him go, today's all about you. Group date, third time's the charm. Oh, you never want to be like, I'm counting the group dates. I
Yeah.
deserve a one-on-one date. It's never a good idea. Another error. And he starts talking about getting on a knee for you, future casting. And we cut to a really good one-on-one time by Jonathan.
Yeah.
They both played lacrosse in college, and they are throwing this thing back and forth, and she is so good at it. This is,
she's
I
legit.
love this. More
too.
of this.
I agree. I thought this was a great little one-on-one. Ends with a kiss. We see Grant. He talks about it being a battle.
She asked for the kiss. That's good chemistry play.
I agree. Grant here says that it was a battle, but that's something he wants to do in a relationship, is fight for his woman. And she thinks that this energy that she thinks he has this energy that he would do anything for her. And they make a joke about putting it all out there. And she kind of gets a lewd innuendo as to put all of what out there. And we get a kiss here. She ITMs.
Oh,
having
I
a
thought it
spark.
was about the sacred word. Saying when I love someone.
Maybe I've just been watching too much Love Island and Too Hot to Handle. She ITM's having a spark.
I mean,
and
that's
feeling.
definitely true.
And he's with Grant. Too Hot to Handle, by the way. I'm watching season 6 of that on our Patreon as well right now. Is like, it's an inch away from pornography.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
You're like up
I didn't
people's
realize
butts.
It was insane. There's one shot of this woman
Yeah.
doing like squats in the morning or whatever that I was in a thong, and I'm just like, is this allowable on TV? This is insane.
Oh, I know. I
Anyways.
mean, yeah, that is a part of those shows.
It
We
is
see Grant gets a kiss. She loads love level 1 for him. We cut to Jeremy. We don't get to see a single sentence Jeremy
I
says.
know.
We go back to the
It's
guy
like 3
chat.
frames of him just like there. And Jeremy's in the show
It's like,
too,
"Bye,
guys.
Jeremy,
Don't forget.
and bye."
Yeah. It's like a subliminal entry of Jeremy into your brain. Just a one frame of Jeremy.
He
Oh,
was there.
I saw-
Jeremy
no,
definitely
Jeremy was on the
existed and
group
was
date, right?
there.
I feel like he was.
I feel like he was.
The other guys here are all complaining about Sam N. And Austin says, you shouldn't be here if you don't have a certain level of emotional intelligence. Are we going to get another book? That's all I was thinking. Is old Aaron Irvin going to pop out with that fake book again and now give it to Sam N.? But Sam N. comes back. And
He
Grant-
left the book with Austin, and now Austin is the one who gets to give it out.
Yeah. Now he's the giver of the book, the tome, the maester. Sam N. comes back. That's what that character should be called.
Oh, God.
Anybody who gives a book as a gift is a maester. We've had 2
Maester.
maesters in history.
Oh, no.
All right, Sam N. comes back, and Grant explains
There's definitely been way more than that.
that he handled the win with grace. And Sam N. says he made the day about Jenn. And Spencer's like, it's fine, dude. Just be respectful. But you're being arrogant. And he's like, you carry yourself like a little kid. Sam N. says, I don't have to apologize for this because it's about Jenn. And they're trying to put him in this villain role so that it's okay for her to get rid of him, so that she looks in the right. But instead it just, I don't know. This one didn't come together for me quite. This one I could see through the curtain a little bit, you know?
I don't know. It just lingered in it too much, and you're like, you just don't, I don't know. And the like, I don't know what your mental health is like when you're in this situation, and like the talking about the emotions going up and down. I don't know. We basically even get it from John. Jonathan gets in here. It's all your actions towards the group. Jen wasn't in any of this, and he's like, "You're not understanding a word I'm saying." He says, "Don't say a word. That's probably the best case scenario here." Oh God, roasted.
Yeah, this doesn't go well. It just
Thomas N calls it a volatile, toxic clown show.
Yeah, he's leaving nothing to the imagination about how he feels here. Thomas N, I think he is caught up in this for real. I think he really doesn't like Sam N and Devin.
Oh, 100%. You can't act this well.
Yeah.
We see and Sam N is getting twisted again by the third audience. He says they're losing composure. I'm calm and collected. Who's gonna win? Me. Oh boy.
Then we come into the next portion, and we see Marcus gets his one-on-one time, and this is where we find out that he got hurt. He plays this kind of post-game IFI. She takes out a stethoscope to listen to his heart, and he basically says, I've been like told my whole life to put pressure on myself to be like strong and not weak because my livelihood depended on it. But I'll admit to you, I wrecked my shoulder in rugby. And he ITMs that opening up about getting hurt is hard for him. And then he tells her that he doesn't want her to feel bad and asks for a little room. And she says, you don't always have to be strong for me. I can help.
It opens the door to hurting about everything, he said. I was like, oh, another haunting little ITM by him.
I'm sure.
Sam M should hang out.
I'm sure. I mean, look, if he got blown up by a grenade, he was in combat. I'm sure he did some fucking shit, I don't know when you spring that on a person, but he's going to have to in this TV show.
Fantasy
at some
Suites,
point.
probably.
You think?
I don't know. I thought this was like intense. I honestly thought Marcus was going to be my MVP after this this whole sequence because he plays these walls. It's so for TRR, and we cut back to other people who think they might get it. Sam N thinks he's already got the group date rose, and Thomas N pulls Sam N for another scene of this.
He's done this twice. Pulled some guy to like chew out the guy.
You can't know.
It's one of the worst second audience games of all time. Why do you care?
I do. He does seem. He seems a little drunk to me in this, but I don't know what the drinking rules are.
I don't either.
But
it was an error for sure. Not my error of the game, but definitely an error. And they basically get into just another argument, and it ends with Sam N walking away, and Thomas N then ITMs that he's going to keep the main
out,
thing.
Thomas
the main
yells.
thing. Did you hear that?
Yeah, they've agreed on their branding.
They branded it.
Main thing.
Him and Sam N.
Main thing.
Sam M have a literal catchphrase now that they both use.
They have to do opposite catchphrases to let me tick, which is actually the best catchphrase.
Oh, that is true.
Sam N does a hilarious line. He goes to talk to Jen, and he's like, "You guys don't know about composure." And he says something, or he goes, "Baby yellow is a good color on you too." And then he goes back into composure. That was kind of iconic.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And then we just see this Thomas N is getting his one-on-one time, telling Jen about his parents and how much they sacrificed for him and the hardships they had when they first came to the United States. And of course, Sam N comes up the stairs, creeps in for that steal, and Jen grants it despite Thomas N attempting to block with a 5-minute extension. It's brutal, but she knows this is the time to eliminate him. They've told her roughly how that's going to happen, how that's going to work out. They haven't booked the whole match, but they told her he's going to come in, he's going to do one thing, and then he'll come in later. When he comes in the second time, that's when you get rid of him. And so he's coming to his own death, and he doesn't even know it. So Sam in here gets the steal, and Thomas N goes back to the other guys to complain, and Grant says he needs a spanking. I thought that was kind of funny. And then Sam N just point blank says, "Can I kiss you?" And that's it. That's the death blow. That request for a kiss was my error of the game. It was the final error by Sam N. She, of course, tells him, "No, thank you. We're never going to get there. Time for me to walk you out." And it's a benevolent execution technically, but it was all Sam could do. I just wish he wouldn't have ended it with an ask to kiss. I wish he would have done something funnier or like more toward him as a character. He could have taken the final moment back, I feel like. And instead he gave it to the producers. He gave them everything they wanted. Take a little piece of it. It should have been
some more scarf play, maybe.
Something, I don't know.
Takes back the jersey, lights the jersey on fire. All good ideas.
Sam then gets in the car, gives his exit speech. "I'm leaving here confused, not feeling good. I feel like the biggest fool of the century, just of this season, Sam N. And I did a lot of bold things. I wore a denim jacket and I thought I was G.I. Joe."
I'm like, wait, he's in a leather jacket.
I know. All of it. I'm just like, what is he talking about? What is this? It was beautiful. I mean, hilarious in its absurdity to me. And he feels left out.
I think doing stuff like that is like a good thing to do. It's like, it's giving like, oh, it's my lingerie, just kind of like odd, like turns of phrases. I'm wearing a denim jacket. Like, I don't know. People are going to notice that. They're going to tweet about it.
I agree. Good little final play for him.
He went farther in this game than I thought he would.
Yeah. But Jen comes back to the group, says Sam N had to hit the road. We get Thomas N laughing a little bit here at that information, and then Marcus gets that group date rose. And he produces tears. He tells the other guys he's grateful for the group date rose and what it symbolizes. Produces tears, and they all love level 4.
This was almost my play of the game.
I mean, damn. That
Marcus producing tears to the second audience was almost my play of the game until something happened.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it was just like, oh, you immediately remove that target from getting the group date rose.
Absolutely.
So your play extract level 4s from your boys.
It's so 4TRR. Portion 8 begins. We are in the day portion of Devin's one-on-one. She meets him in the park. Ideal Hooju location. We don't get a Hooju.
He's in white shoes. They're just messing with me.
Pacecase in the case of the white shoes is still going on. He meets
Jen talks about how it's going to be a spirituality date because she is Buddhist and Vietnamese and wants to see if they have the same values. That's what this date's going to be about.
And he level ones her and kisses her when they meet here. I'm nervous because I like you a lot. She tells him
they go in a red hut with a Maori spirit guide, and they do a dance, and it's a traditional Maori welcome, and the lady in front, second from the left, makes my face play of the game. Full eye aperture. Honestly, everyone in all the dances was giving the best face play I've ever seen, maybe in this game. So it was really hard to choose. And honestly, Jen did some good ones, and Devin, and Sam M.
I know.
So it was a tough competition this episode.
I agree.
They talk about, this is a sacred place. There are people of the land. Rivers have like personas of living beings, and they want them to talk about things significant to them. What is their mountain? And we get basically this story from Devin. He's a wanderer with his family. His dad immigrated from Mexico to California, but he's in Houston. No mountains, but his mountain in his mind is his mother. Ugh. Gorgeous. Yep. Gorgeous reveal. Mama's boy reveal here.
I agree.
It gets this lip play from Jen. She loves it. And he talks about how his mom was very resilient. And it's like an anticipatory, they have the same mirror PTC about their moms raising them. And it's just a little taste here. It's just so well done.
I agree. It is almost as if it was pre-planned, but he plays it perfectly. And then Devin ITMs that he couldn't be more happy in the moment. He's inspired by how much these people have embraced their history and their past, and it was eye-opening for him to see that. He learned a lot, he said. He holds hands with Jenn, and they do this little game where they all have to like run to a stick before it falls down. And then they are asked about their cultures and traditions. And Jenn says her parents are from Vietnam. She was the only Vietnamese kid, hard to integrate. And she has grown to love her culture, now fully embraces it and wants to carry it into a marriage with her kids. Her family's Buddhist, so they want to go to temple on the holidays.
While she is saying this, Devin is doing insane gaze play. I will say it's in the Joey Grazia Day level of gaze play. He is staring into her eyes the whole time. It's giving 4TRR.
Yeah, it is giving that. I agree. He's a strong player. He doesn't really make mistakes. And he's just simply the target of a rivalry. Yeah. And to see a really good player have to deal with that through what has so far been the entire season is fun. It's like you don't get to see this combination of play styles very often. You don't get to see a really good player being attacked by a villain player for this long. It's a real treat so far this season, specifically because of these two guys. Anyway, they go
Devin
have a
plays
meal.
this PTC about his parents splitting up, but he wants to have grow up with a full family intact, happy and healthy. That's the only tradition I need. Gorgeous. This almost was my play of the game.
Yeah. But he just
it's hard
kept
to do a
getting better.
PTC to strangers.
I agree. Then the strangers leave them sitting at this table, and they get a little kiss. And then the portion 9 begins. They come into the Civic Theater for the night portion, and Devin loads a love level 3. Beautiful location. Chandeliers are on the stage inside this performing arts theater.
Gorgeous.
They have all to themselves. And Devin ITMs that this rose means the most because he's going to lay out his whole family scenario, and it's going to mean that she accepts everything about him if he gets it. So he's loaded this big kind of the final act of the PTC he's been teasing during the day portion. And he says, talking about his mom was tough for him during the day. He grew up in a tough environment, had issues with his dad. His parents were never together. That's the broken home PTC, single mother PTC. Mom was in school, and he was the product of a casual fling. She had to drop out of college to take care of him, and dad was barely around. It was a weird dynamic. They moved a lot. It was unstable. His mom was trying to figure things out, and she was strong through the tough moment, and it taught him a lot. She was a working mom, 2 jobs, went back to college to take care of him and his brother. He didn't understand those things about her when he was young. He idolized his dad, which hurt his mom, but now he realizes that, and she took care of him through it all. She never wavered once, was always there for him, better than any father figure ever had been. It is a perfectly played PTC. It's the trauma was tough childhood. Why? Dad wasn't in the picture. How did that affect me? I idolized my dad, which hurt my mom, but I now have changed to know that was wrong, and I'm better off for it. I realize how strong she was, which makes me a stronger person. It is a perfectly fucking played PTC. Perfectly. It's got every component in the right order. Oh, God damn it. Just beautiful.
This preemptive mirror PTC by Devin was my play of the game. We all know Jen's story, single, strong mom kind of thing. And you already know you have this in common. And the way to get out this information in the whole, the mountain thing, I don't know who's coming up with the mountain thing, but it was extraordinary. He's blowing the season out of the water. I was so amazed by this. I agree.
This was going to be my play of the game until it wasn't. Jenn says that Devin's mom seems incredible and that she'd be proud of him. I love when the players are like, your parent that you just talked about would be proud of you. She thinks that they have a unique connection. Jenn tells him that her mom is also her rock, and her dad also wasn't around, and her mom had no shoulder, had to shoulder the burden. And Devin asks what the relationship with her father is now, and she says she can think of a couple of good childhood memories, but he just wasn't there. Once him and her mom got divorced, he didn't want to be her dad, never cared about how she was doing, didn't even know her birthday. She got sick of it, and she said, you can't call yourself a father. And then he was like, screw it, I don't ever want to talk to you again. Exactly, mirror PTC. And she plays hers very well as well. She says she invested in guys that haven't invested in her. She didn't understand her value in the world, but she realized that just because her dad didn't want to be a part of her life didn't mean she wasn't deserving of love. So she was just seeking that same kind of attachment style from the dad that was never there, with these different toxic boyfriends who were then never really there for her. But now she's turned the corner. So they both have learned from their PTCs. They are new, better people, ready for each other. That's what we learn narratively here. Devin then ITMs that she deserves to know what love from a man can look like. He tells her that he walked in today really liking her, love level 1. But the way she opened up to him and gave him the strength to open up himself means that I'm falling for you, and I'm not afraid to say it. Love level 3, that was my play of the game. This was the culmination of a perfectly played, so far, not just one-on-one, not just fourth episode, not just third episode, whole season. This was the pinnacle moment of his play this entire season so far to me. It's just been an upward trajectory that seemingly has no limit, and I loved to see this. He's now in the lead.
I mean,
well, technically, I guess he's not, but
the whole way this one-on-one date is played is incredible, and it's a this isn't a let's go in a hot tub and make out date. This is a high degree of difficulty type date, like a spirit guide date. It's hard to make that seem 40RR and serious. And he did it. And I love this PTC and the love level 3.
Yeah, it's early.
And she ITMs.
Early.
I don't know if anyone ever said that to me before. Love level 3.
Sam N did it last week.
Are you saying she didn't count the public love level 3?
She's saying it. I'm not even saying that.
I mean,
she is.
The skeleton says that they're love level 4. So I'm like,
yeah.
Were you guys love level 4 or weren't you? What is going on?
That too. I don't know. I don't really know. But he does get that one-on-one group or one-on-one date rose. Devin does. And we get a kiss. A private singer comes out to give them this private concert. Many more kisses. And she ITMs that he could be her future fiance.
Silhouette shots here with the spotlight. Ugh.
The show is getting better at how it's shot, just not how it's lit. They don't do a lot of lighting in these scenes where the guys are walking into the rose ceremony or whatever. I mean, that's one thing in stark contrast to the entire Bachelor franchise that you really notice when you start watching like Too Hot to Handle and Love Island. They just look way better. They're not just in like contemporary design, but like the way they're laying out their lighting schemes and their backgrounds and stuff like that. It just looks like contemporary. It looks like a show being made now. Bachelor still looks like a show being made in 2002 to some degree.
Damn roasted.
It's simply the truth.
The guys are going to the cocktail party. Spencer says he's always hoping for the best. It self-destructs. So now I'm just going to say I think it'll go to shit. Love this.
And then
and we
this bizarre moment.
Oh my God, I actually like blocked this out how they shot this. This was crazy.
DLP, we cut to a shot of DLP, Dark Lord Palmer, that's Jesse Palmer, the 5th Bachelor and current host of the Bachelor franchise, is direct addressing the camera, saying, a guy from Jenn's past has reached out to the producers and he has flown his way to New Zealand on his own dime to have a conversation with Jenn. What? Is that true? Or is this him straight lying into a camera?
You think they paid for it? Damn, dude.
Something. I don't know. Maybe they didn't.
I mean, they're definitely facilitating it.
Yeah, he doesn't show up on camera unless they say okay. That's for sure. He doesn't talk to Jenn unless they say okay. They could protect her from this guy. They don't.
Oh, 100%.
That is...
They act like they're protecting her by having DLP talk to him first. But it's like, shouldn't he talk to Jenn first?
Yes, that's the part of the show. Well, then we have to go a step further. Did Jenn know about this? Is she acting when he comes up behind her?
Stop.
What do you mean
stop? We don't have to go any more steps. I just want to...
Look, one of 3 things is true. That man reached out to producers on his own behalf and of his own volition. They did not contact him prior to this in any way. He contacted them somehow and said, I want to come talk to Jenn. I will book my own flight. I will buy my own hotel. I will be
Do
there
it on camera.
tomorrow. And they said, okay, that can happen. Or, number 2, the producers found him, flew him there for this, and DLP is lying about all of it. That can happen.
He might not know who paid for it.
Right. And in either of those cases, Jenn may or may not know that the guy is coming, but she may. They might have told her about this and said, how do you want to handle this? Do you want this guy to come back and like talk to you and come to the rose ceremony tonight? The cocktail party. Maybe.
I'm very curious. Because there's some very confusing things that are brought up in this next scene.
Yeah,
they basically do this weird 24 like shot where there's like Jenn's at the harbor with the producers in glasses.
This was
the guys
so
are at the
bad
hotel.
how they did this.
I got scared when DLP talked to us. I thought like something really bad had happened with like someone.
It seemed like.
And I started thinking about when we talked to Reality Steve and he was like, just wait for what happened. I'm like, oh God. I'm scared.
Oh God. Yeah, I agree with you. It had a weird, ominous tone. And I thought that how they did it visually was very bad. That background is just like a black background and these weird squares are like moving around with different people in them. Put something in that background. Like, why is it just like...
It was just jarring. It was so jarring.
It was a bad
from
choice
what we were just
creatively.
watching.
I appreciate the effort. I sincerely do, but it's not necessary.
Look, I've been begging for a skeleton for a long time.
I'm not even saying the skeleton. I'm just saying the visual presentation of those weird squares flying around. I thought it didn't work.
Have we ever had a Dark Lord guard the skeletons before? Oh, we did with Becca Kufrin, I think.
Yeah. Becca Kufrin did.
That's
the one I was going to bring
Matt, up. The first skeleton we see in a long time, shows up, surprises Jenn, whether you believe that or not, or whether you're clues or you don't believe anything that's presented to you. And he basically, he tells DLP, we dated 3 years ago, 3 or 4 months, but we've been back together throughout. And I still love. He tells her, I couldn't let her go here. I want to tell her I still love you. I'm wondering, has she heard Love Level 3 or Love Level 4 before this? I'm very confused. And DLP tells him the convo has to be right now. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, so this is her type. She's picking Spencer Ringwinter. We see him appear behind Jenn.
We see during that conversation with DLP too, they are flashing up pictures from social media of Jenn with this guy. They are, it's like they're proving it, you know, like, no, look, this is not some actor we hired. So there is like, I think in showing those pictures, there's some understanding by the producers that the audience is going to be skeptical of this being real. I think they understand that, or like, who cares? We don't need those pictures, right?
Showing the pictures makes me think he gets in the game.
Yeah,
like,
me
why
too.
are we spending so much time on
this?
this?
He at least is for next episode. We saw that. He's got one night.
Right. Yeah. We see the white shoes finally, and she is shocked, I think, and we got a skeleton baby. We get this like kind of confusing conversation about how they were going to go on a trip to Colombia. It's not the same without you.
What?
I blew off the weddings to fly here. I'm like, Jenn?
What weddings?
Are you Jed Whiting? What is going on?
What weddings? He's an insurance guy, it said in his little chyron. What's he doing at these weddings?
He sells insurance?
Friends?
I think it was like friends' weddings.
So he ditched two friends' weddings to come be on The Bachelorette?
I guess so.
It's kind of like a friend's wedding sabbatical. I don't know.
Sabbatical a little bit.
It was confusing to me. And I'm like, if you're going to...
It was very confusing. Why even include it?
I don't know. It just like had mystery to me. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. But I get
it feels like it was like cut together.
She has to ITM like, or she asked him if he's ready to get engaged now. And he's like, yes, now I'm ready. And Jenn ITM's then an explanation to us, the fourth audience, that he's not one of the toxic exes she's been referring to now for 4 weeks in a row. This is the good one.
That's good.
Yeah.
The good one.
They've reconnected as friends recently, or so she thought. She's confused about his intentions, and she explains that they had their chances, and she feels like it's coming out of nowhere. He thinks they've connected on a deeper level recently, and he's not ready to let it all go. And she's like, you should have said this before I left. And he's like, I did, just not as grandly as this. So I think he was probably like, yeah, don't go on Bachelorette. Let's like continue this. Let's date. Don't go on Bachelor. And then she's in there, and now he's like,
he tried to
shit.
convince her?
Maybe a little bit.
He love level 1s her here, and then he says, I really do love you. Love level 4. And Jen goes, Matthew. So I'm like, has she never heard him say love level 4 before? I need more information. They discuss him continuing on this journey together. Date me and my 11 other boyfriends. And he's like, I would, to prove how much you mean to me. And she does a good walk off. Give me a second. And she's worried what it'll stir up in the guys.
Yeah.
But she knows Matt more than these guys she met a couple weeks ago. Is this the thing that has never been done? She proposes to someone, a civilian.
You think this guy's coming into the game? Legit?
I
think he doesn't
is?
make it through the rose ceremony.
Mm.
We see that for next week, Jen's past collides with her future, and we see Matt now, the insurance guy, is in a tux, so he's at the rose ceremony, and she's explaining to the other guys that he's coming in. This decision will change everything. We see some one-on-ones. We see this weird sheep herding date. Looks wild. I can't wait for that. That's creatures of the week all
That's
over
the
the
one
place.
I was talking about. The sheep is jumping in front of Devin.
Absolutely insane.
I love sheep herding. It is always funny. They always do it on Traders. It's so good.
Austin here says it's not fair to the other guys, and Jen sees a future alone, possibly, and produces tears. And that's the end of the episode. Pacecase, who was your MVP?
Once again, Devin was my MVP. You know, back-to-back weeks for me. It's but he had my play of the game. He had your play of the game. He was doing face play. He's giving so much to this beautiful rivalry. I love watching him play. Who was yours?
Devin was also my MVP. He is turning in a season for the history books. He is going to go down as one of the greatest players who has ever played this game. I don't know how far he's going to make it, but I have to assume at least fantasy suites. The man doesn't miss. He just doesn't miss. And
you think he's going to make it to fantasy suites?
Maybe. So far, I don't know what happens at the end of the season, and I don't know. I have stayed away from Reddit to know any of the potential things from people's past that may, emerge. So I don't know if he's embroiled in any of that, but I'll say this. If he's clean of these things and he gets his heart broken at the end of this, he may wear that crown. I could see him doing it. I knew you were going
to say that. He's giving Blake Moynes.
He's not giving Blake Moynes. He's giving grocery.
Blake Moynes meets grocery. Yes.
Yeah.
He's
I think that's
so grocery.
Yeah, he's Blake Moynes meets grocery, yeah.
They talk the same. Yeah, what an episode. I hope you're right. I hope those two are the final two. I feel like Marcus is going to be up there.
Yeah.
Spencer now.
Yeah, I mean, I think like it's hard to see Marcus not making it to the finals, and it's hard to now not see Devin there. It does feel like it'll probably be them, or Spencer maybe is in there. I'm not sure. I could see it going Spencer, Sam N, Marcus, and
not Sam N. Oh, Sam M.
Yeah, sorry, Sam M, Devin, Spencer, Marcus. I could see that being your final four, and then you have
if both Sam M and Devin are in the final four.
They have to be. They have to be in the final two.
They're going to have a 2-on-1 date. They have to be the final two. I don't know. There's no way.
I don't know if they do the 2-on-1. Look, because it's when you're going on a 2-on-1 with a front runner, the front runner always wins. There have been some 2-on-1 players that have like won the ring and stuff, you know. If Devin is really a front runner and they put him and Sam M on a date, Sam M's gone. So I know that I want to see them fight, but I would prefer that fight take place or do a 2-on-1 where they both come back. Do a 2-on-1 where they both come
do
back.
one where they both come back. Do that.
That's
They haven't done
brutal. That just like stokes that
They
rivalry
haven't done that
so
in a
hardcore.
while. That would be great.
Yeah, she
They
gives
should
them
do
both
that.
a rose. God, please let them do that. Anyways, thank you for joining us. This was
I
a
am
juicy
invigorated.
episode.
Certified juicer.
Certified juicer, yeah.
Oh my God, I loved it. What a season. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so grateful
Me
that we're
too.
getting good seasons again.
Reality TV, I know we've been saying it now for about a year, but it's like it is really happening now. Reality TV, especially dating reality TV, is at the peak that it has ever been by a large margin.
Yeah.
I think what's going on right now is like, it's way better than like when Bachelor was around season 17, just like that golden era. There's something like
100%.
way better happening now. And I'm going to cover as much of it as I can in Clues Corner. I'll do my best. So join me there.
As much as I can.
Yeah.
Praise you and your beautiful mind, Clues.
I might do an episode right now after we get done recording.
Oh my God.
We'll see.
I'm going to the bar.
All right. Well, have a good time at the bar. And everyone, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Go join Clues at the live watch parties on Mondays at 33 Taps. Go get our Game of Roses Jenn Tran commemorative t-shirt, only available during this season. And praise be Dark Lord Palmer.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us, and then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us, and then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us, and then